It seems like Maximum Series Hulk from Marvel Legends isn't that popular with collectors, but is he really that bad? Just for reference, guys, the 20th anniversary Hulk was released at $45, so it was a whole $15 cheaper than this release. Is this really a $15 more release that we're getting from Marvel Legends? Let's talk about the accessories, guys. Maximum Series Hulk comes with 3 separate heads. One is kind of a smart Hulk head with shaved sides and a little bit on top. Another head is something like an Ed McGuinness head, and it's got real big teeth. It almost makes him look like the Mask. And then the last head, I think, is supposed to be a screaming Marvel vs. Capcom head or something. I'm not sure where it comes from, but it's kind of cool looking in person. All these heads look a lot better in person than they do online. They looked pretty bad on the internet. Is there a definitive Hulk head here? No, not really. And for something called Maximum Series Hulk, I wish there were. He also comes with a missile that comes in 3 parts technically. The fire effect is attached to the bottom by a peg hole, and the rest of the rocket can be attached by stuffing the wires in the lower part of the rocket. It's actually a cool little feature, and when you put it together, it kind of quietly snaps in place so you know that it's firmly together. It doesn't take too much pressure to break it apart again, so you don't have to worry about it getting stuck or anything once you put it together. The plastic is very pliable, so it's a lot of fun to take it and throw it in Hulk's hand and pretend that he caught the rocket out of mid-air and it was being sent by Thunderbolt Ross, and he's just snapping the missile in half mid-flight. I have to say, it's one of the cooler Hulk accessories I've seen in a little while, so I'm not mad about this one at all. I feel like I could get lost in scenarios of how Hulk is going to run away from or else smack down this rocket while it's coming at him. Besides that, there's the gigantic elephant in the room, the clap effect. And the clap effect is an interesting series of accessories in here. It's actually kind of complicated to put together. To really talk about the clap effect, we gotta talk about the hands. There's 3 sets of hands included with Hulk here. There's the typical open hands that we've seen a few times, and the fist that we've also seen a few times, and then there's the new flat hands. The clapping hands, the applause hands. These hands are intended to be used for Hulk's sonic clap, and you do that by pinching the shoulder joints together so they come as far in as possible and the hands eventually meet. You have to kind of angle the hands a little bit outward for the hands to meet. You might even have to mess around with the forearms a little bit, but eventually they will. And when you finally got Hulk situated, you can take the motion effects and clip them onto the hands. They go on specific hands and they can't really be swapped because they fit the mold of the hand. So as soon as you put an effect on and you notice that it doesn't quite fit over the hand the way that you think it should, you'll notice that it'll fit right on the other hand. And once you have these effects on, it creates the effect that Hulk has just swung his hands forward and done a big clap. There's even an effect that goes along with this, an impact effect. And the thing of it is that the impact effect is supposed to rest in between his hands, but there's not really anything to latch on to. So you can kind of angle the hands to catch the effect and hold it up. You might even be able to get the hands to pinch into it, but most of the time it's going to fall down. If you really want this impact effect to stay put, you could, I guess, use some kind of tacky tape or something else to stick it in place so it doesn't move. Point being, it doesn't really stay put, and it doesn't seem like there was a lot of thought put into the design of this. It kind of looks like the piece is supposed to clip onto Hulk's arm or something, or a leg, or even the head, and maybe the rocket is supposed to collide with him, and that's what the effect is used for. Granted, if you look at the promo photographs for Maximum Series Hulk, you can see this effect used all kinds of ways, but still, I think my point remains the same. Most people are going to want to use it for the sonic clap, obviously. And now that we're talking about the sonic clap, let's talk about the big new feature on Maximum Series Hulk, the rubber chest. And whoo boy, this is something of a hot topic. So Hulk's rubber chest is supposed to enable him to bring his arms very far forward so he can do that sonic clap. And that's really the only reason they gave him the rubber chest, to allow him to do that without ruining the lines of the body. See, the other way to solve this would be to give him big butterfly joints, which maybe wouldn't have looked as nice. But in the long run, I'm not sure how a rubber chest is going to hold up over time. I'm a little bit afraid that this Hulk over time is going to become misshapen, the chest is going to cave in, and this action figure is going to look terrible. Is anyone else out there afraid that the chest on Hulk is just going to be donezo in like a year or two? How is it going to hold up over months and months or even years of posing him? How is it going to hold up if you do a sonic clap and hold that for a sustained period of time and then bring him out of it and that chest doesn't return to its original shape? It's going to look pretty bad. Are you going to blame the collector on that one for having him in that pose for so long, for using the action figure as it was designed? Or are you going to blame the designers for making something that maybe wasn't such a good idea? The one nice thing about the chest though is that it's now a torso rocker, which is a little bit awkward with the waist swivel, because you don't really need both a torso rocker and a waist swivel, as I found out over playing with multiple Marvel Legends, because they just get in the way of each other. The problem with Hulk's torso rocker here is because he has a waist swivel, when you try to use the torso rocker, it causes the waist to swivel too, and it just feels weird, it looks weird. It doesn't really need to be there, the waist swivel. The torso rocker is kind of enough. But it is really nice to have, because the old Hulk action figure couldn't really do that. It was just an ab crunch. Now Hulk can twist completely to the side and side to side in any way that you can possibly think of, really. But despite how flexible he is, he's still using old Hulk parts. This isn't a new body at all on Maximum Series Hulk. This is all the same Hulk that we've already seen, except for the feet, the heads, and the chest. So if you have 20th Anniversary Hulk, if you have the Wolverine and Hulk 2-pack Hulk, you've largely got this action figure too, but you've also got more classic style heads. Every problem that persists on those other Hulk action figures is present here. In some cases, they're even exacerbated. Cause the fringe on the 20th Anniversary Hulk was a little sloppy, I thought, but looking at this Maximum Series Hulk, the fringe is even sloppier. They barely did anything, and it doesn't even look all that great. It's not as nice looking as the 20th Anniversary Hulk's fringe. In hindsight, on the back of him, they barely did anything. And the range of his hips, the range of his leg articulation isn't any better. He can still barely move forward, and sometimes you want Hulk to move around a little bit. Sometimes you want Hulk to squat down a little further, but you can't do that because, once again, it's pretty much the same old action figure. The pins are even still there on this Hulk, and on the one I got, the pins aren't as clean. They look a little mangled on one of them. The feet on Maximum Series Hulk have toe articulation. That's one of the big things that they're putting on these action figures. Is it all that good? Not really. There's other brands that do toe articulation way better. And really, the toe articulation on this Hulk is so poorly done that it gets in its own way, and it kind of ruins Hulk's balance. I can't chalk it up to just the feet though. They don't really have ratchets on them, not very good ones at least, so Hulk is kind of just falling forward and back all the time. The 20th Anniversary Hulk is way more stable. The 20th Anniversary Hulk had a lot more depth to its paint. It was much darker of an action figure, but the paint had more complexity. It had more time put into it, more washes. This just looks flat, it looks boring, and it doesn't look very well done. When you look at Maximum Series Hulk, you can't shake the feeling of wondering, what did I pay for here? Why did I get charged this much money? Is it just because of the size of the box? Is it just because it looks vaguely like an import? Are they just trying to gaslight people into thinking that Marvel Legends should be worth just as much as imports? Because that's insane. I want to find more nice things to say about Maximum Series Hulk, guys, but it seems like they've taken all the positives of the previous Hulk release, the 20th Anniversary Hulk, and turned them into negatives. The reality of the matter is that Maximum Series Hulk is a very poorly designed action figure that was haphazardly slapped together and put out just to get a Maximum Series label on it at a higher price tag. They're just trying to prey on the ignorance of the import collecting crowd. They have such a skewed perspective of what's reasonable that they could pay just about any price for a Marvel Legend and they'd think that's reasonable. But all you guys out there who have been here for a long time, out in the trenches with Marvel Legends, knowing exactly what's going on, you and I know better. I said in one of my previous videos that Maximum Series Hulk by Marvel Legends is the worst Marvel Legend of 2025. I thought I was exaggerating, but the balance on this is so poor, the craftsmanship is so poor, the features are so poor, that I think I was right. This really is one of the worst Marvel Legends of 2025, if not the worst. So it pains me a little to say that Maxim Series Hulk is not worth the $60 admission. Save your money, guys. This action figure sucks.